Okay, guys, welcome and happy, what day is it? Wednesday, Feliz Miércoles. And today I've got a new package that was just delivered by the USPS, and it is my 1942 Replicade 1/6 scale arcade cabinet from New Wave Toys. So I just started getting into these early this year, I guess, or late last year. I guess it was early this year. I bought one of these. This is an Asteroids Replicade. Stu in the audience asked what the heck is a Replicade. Well, it's this. And Stu said the games next to it look much more interesting. Yeah, I had a bunch of wires and cords, so I decided to just put some games in a stack to make it look cooler and also give you something cool to check out. But I do like this thing that I got, so I decided, hey, why don't I start collecting these? It might be fun. I play this thing more often than you would think. You would think I would just grab this and put it on a shelf. But it's fun to play. This is Asteroids. It's 1/6 scale. It's designed to be as accurate as possible to the real thing, but also have some goodies like uh, this one doesn't have it. Some of these have HDMI output, but this one does not. I think that was before they invented that or added that, I should say. But yeah, I'm gonna open my 1942 box and get right into playing it. Let's put this aside, actually. Maybe if for some reason the 1942 doesn't work right away, I'll just play the Asteroids one. So here's the box. It's about £5. I did a pre-order kind of deal of this, by the way. I got to save some money. I don't remember the exact deal. I also ordered the 1943 one, and strangely enough, they decided to make both 1942 and 43 cabinets support both of those two games. So you could play 1943 in your 1942 cabinet if you'd like. But what the heck, I decided to buy them both because I've got the crazy collector bug, I suppose. So I'm gonna whip out my trusty knife and start carving this open like a turkey. The knife that needs sharpening apparently because it took a moment to stab through the tape. Okay, so yeah, looking forward to playing with this. I've been looking forward to receiving the shipment for a while. It took a long time due to supply issues, due to COVID. You know, you've probably heard the story about 100 times in general. Hey Ryan, how's it going tonight? Yes, a rare Wednesday stream. Usually I'm occupied on Wednesday. I do programming lessons with Rob Bob, but he canceled tonight, so his loss is our gain. All right, so here it is. I'm going to push it back a little bit to give you a little bit more face. Let's tilt it on its side. Let me adjust a little. You know, of course, I am beyond an amateur at the camera work and everything. Beyond meaning below. So just bear with me as I adjust things. All right, it comes with this sweet piece of cardboard. See, Stu said this doesn't look that cool, but check it out. Do these games in the back have this sweet piece of cardboard? The answer is no. But here we go. This is the box within a box. The Asteroid game came with this kind of a thing as well. Unfortunately, it got a little banged up in the corner. Not a huge deal, but I can't take it out too easily that way. So I'm going to put it upright for the moment. Okay. Off with you. Okay, I don't know if I'm still there, guys. My YouTube browser just said I'm offline. But it looks like OBS says it's still feeding data through, so I'm not sure what's going on here. It looks like I'm having a problem connecting to YouTube in the browser, and that's it. So bear with me a second because I can't see the chat. So I don't know if you guys are still able to see this or not, or to hear my voice. All right, looks like I'm starting to get back in. Bear with me one more moment. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it says Stu did have some major buffering issues. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why that would happen. But it happens sometimes, even though I'm on Ethernet these days. Used to be more common when I used Wi-Fi for streaming. Anyway, here we are. What's the best way to open this? This way. 1942, the classic from Capcom. I'm not actually a huge fan of this game, which makes it sound like I don't like it. I do like it. It's just I don't ever go, let me rattle off my top 10 favorite arcade games. I don't think of mentioning 1942 ever, but I was really fond of 1943 for NES. I played that one a ton, and it was a game I really got into. So here we are. Let's adjust the camera a tiny bit. And Ryan mentioned earlier, these arcade cabinets are huge, are tiny, or Marcus. Yeah, this is actually full size, and I am in Hulk form currently, just less green at the moment. So yeah, so we have the front view and the side view, and you can see here it comes with some cool stuff though. By the way, it even comes with a controller you can attach, and I think it's USB, so you could even plug this into your say computer and play games with this tiny controller if you want. It has two buttons, it looks like, and a joystick. Also, I think I'm not sure. I'll find out for sure though. I think 1943, the arcade version might be two player, so you could probably plug this in and play it that way. I think I heard that. And here's the back. It has a whole bunch of text. Basically, it's all the features. This is all of it, but in English. And then we have French and Spanish and German and whatever this is. All right, so that's about all there is to see from the outside. So let's peel open the shrink wrap. Should we stab it or try to find one of those? Try to find a place to hook our nails into. I will stab it. Stabby, stabby. What stream are you guys talking about? Are you talking about the guy who makes Leisure Suit Larry, who looks like Rob Reiner? I will try to check that out, by the way, even though I'm not a Leisure Suit Larry fan. That could be fun. How do you get these people, Stu? You get like some pretty famous people sometimes. Are you like in the scene? Are you like famous and we don't know it? Yes, my arms look ridiculous from this angle, I realize. Okay, this is cool. Shrink wrap is off. Yeah, it looks, plays, and controls like the original, just like a what is it, a B-38 back in 1942. Controls just like that. Okay, so how do we open this from here? Top. Oh, like this. Here we have one of the Japanese battleships. By the way, I was reading about this game and how well, I guess you probably know, but it was designed for a Western audience, but made by a Japanese company, which was Capcom. And that's kind of funny considering the whole point of it is you're the American hero blowing up Japanese, you know, ships and stuff like that. So kind of funny. And here we have the cabinet partially obscured by foam. We have a lovely manual that says Romstar. What is Romstar exactly? I don't know. Take that foam away. Take a quick look at the manual before we get to the good stuff. I'll just keep you in suspense this way. 1942 instruction manual. It's probably going to be in like 5 different languages again. So, and this is New Wave Toys. They are the makers of the Replicade series. I was really excited to get, well, when I heard about Dragon's Lair, but unfortunately I missed the boat on that, and it's like $300 or $400 on eBay at this point. And it just tells you all the controls and stuff. It's probably pretty obvious. Let me take a quick look at this though. So we do have 2 USB ports in the back. That's interesting. I guess that's to plug in the extra controller, and it lets you, plug in up to 2 if you want to use those instead of the main kind of arcade console. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if I would use 2 of those to play a 2-player, but tells you how to charge and nonsense like that. It's probably hard to read over the camera. Pretty much obvious stuff. The LED means, you're charging, blah, blah, blah. But it does have game instructions too, like down here. Yashichi. You know how I know the Yashichi? And Ryan says he wanted the Dragon's Lair arcade 1-up. Oh, that would be cool. Arcade 1-ups are the ones that are pretty big, right? But I know this Yashichi because it came up when I was on the game show Video Power. And there was a question about that from Mega Man. And it was in Mega Man 1, what does the Yashichi do? So I chimed in really quick and I said it restores all your weapons' powers. And I got the points. Anyway, how to play, you pick up stuff and shoot. That's how you do it. All right, so that's about it to tell you about how to navigate the menu. And then we move to Espanol, and we're going to read it in Espanol for Arturo para cargar el 1942 Replicade. Conecte el cable. Nah, just kidding. All right, so let's get on with it. Big chunk of foam. It's really attractive. Yeah, it's due. The Dragon's Lair Replicade has a fake laser disc inside, so you open it up, and it's just like the real thing. It doesn't actually function, but um, it's made to, it's kind of like a diorama kind of a thing almost. That it's like a realistic model in that sense, rather than being functional. So here's our mini controller, which is actually a little bigger than I expected, which is cool. Let me take it out of the plastic. I don't know why I expected it to be like micro size, but this is playable with, I would think. So I could actually use this probably in any computer that'll support USB, basically, and as well as this machine. It has a satisfying click to it. I like that. I know my lighting isn't superb, but again, I am lesser than an amateur studio. That should help a little bit. I just adjusted my lighting. Hey, Janet, how's it going? By the way, Ryan, Arturo was present during Saturday's stream. It's just that he was viewing on his, I think he said his PlayStation 3, and he wasn't able to participate in chat. But anyway, I guess it doesn't matter to you if he's watching and he can't chat with you. So here you have the Capcom sticker at the bottom. This is actually officially licensed by Capcom. I guess it would have to be. All right, so let's move on from that. You're jealous. You're jealous, Janice. Yeah, I like to make you jealous, Janice. Here we have a charging cable. I already have one ready and connected, so I can charge this right away. I have the one that came with Asteroids. So it's funny, when I got Asteroids, I did the same kind of stream, and I was asking around beforehand, can you just tear it open and plug in the cable and play right away, or do you have to charge? And people were like, ha ha ha, why are you so eager? Ha ha, can't you wait a little bit? And I was like, well, I want to, do a live stream. And if I have to charge for an hour, it's not going to work another cable. So it came with 2 USB cables for some reason. I guess one is for connecting the controller, and another would be for charging the main unit. So this is actually what they call a, I don't remember what you call this style. I was just reading about it, but it's not your typical arcade cabinet style. It's called a low boy, I think, because it's designed to, well, be low. All right, I'm going to move the box aside. It's blocking light and not helping anymore. But yeah, here's the low boy, I believe they call it. I guess it's kind of more designed so you look down at it from an angle. And if you're tall like me, I guess that works out nicely. I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm realizing now that the angle being upward, it might not look so great on the camera unless I kind of tilt it forward a little bit. Or I can find a way to adjust my camera so it's aimed downward a little bit. So Ryan says, I actually like the controller. I have a mini arcade and it kind of sucks using the controls on the cabinet. Okay. Teach us how to get budget from wife, please. Hey, you should be making good money, right? That is a portrait screen. What are you talking about? The way this is oriented? Okay, so there is some plastic on this. I'll peel that off in a second. Let's check out everything that we have. This realistic coin door. I don't think it actually functions. It looks nice though. Press up on the rocker button. Hope you can read this. I don't know if you can. Press up on the rocker button to add credits. I can just read it to you. Hard to get the focus too good. Press down on the rocker button to get in the menu. So this one is what they call the rocker. I thought at first it might meant you can slide this piece here, this brass looking piece. And Stu says I totally don't get the appeal of these. All right. I mean, sorry, Stu. To me, it's cool. It's something I can put on my shelf, and it reminds me of hanging out in the arcade. And they try to make it as realistic as possible, which is cool. It has this same. This is actually wood, by the way. You can tell. And but this part of the sticker, not like a cheap sticker. It looks like a really, you can't really peel away at it or anything. I don't know how to describe it. If I was like a QVC style salesman, I would say, coming from the finest vinyl, blah blah blah. and all that stuff, but I'm not that. It says danger high voltage install. I don't know. I don't know if that's for realism purposes or if it's an actual danger. I wouldn't think it would be an actual danger because it's not a CRT. Anyway, here's our ports though. We have the two USB as we saw on the box. Let me see if I can adjust something with the camera real quick, by the way. If I change my camera lens, it might be a little better for close-up. Yeah, there we go. Cool. I think it's much more readable now. All right, so we have it's called pilots, actually. Oh, so these are both for the controllers. These two large USBs. And the charge is this one. The other kind of USB. I guess it's the USB mini. We've got two speakers in the back. I guess it's stereo. I'm not sure where this thingy is. And we have our power button and volume. We'll not have the volume too high. As always, my daughter is sleeping in the adjacent room. But I'll try to make it loud enough so we can actually, so you guys can actually hear it. Okay, so here we have, this is one player start and two player start, it looks like. I didn't know 1942 is two player as well. Unless they added that button just because it's necessary for the 1943 two player mode. I guess I'll find out. Here's our joystick. I feel like I like the feel of the other one better, to be quite honest. It doesn't have the clickiness. It's fine, but it doesn't have the clickiness that this guy had. And then we have fire, which is the red button, and loop. So you don't have in 1943 like a super bomb kind of attack. I guess you just have this loop, which is an evasive maneuver. And so let's peel off the magical film. By these filmy things, my wife likes to leave them on everything. She had her computer that she got like 3 years ago, and the film is getting like dirty and scratchy. I'm like, can I just peel it off, please? Everything's gonna look so clean and beautiful underneath. And she's like, no, I like it. See, that I want to see you play a game with that? With that controller? Yeah, definitely. I can try it with the main console joystick as well as the this guy. So, but yeah, I have to decide how I'm going to handle this angle. So I hadn't considered that ahead of time. I could maybe put something under it just to tilt it forward a little bit, or I could try to adjust the camera angle. Why don't I try the first option first and see if that works? I have all these bits of foam. Maybe one of those will work. I could kind of just put it underneath as I go. This thing's probably too big though. Let me try it. Yeah, that might do it. And I might want to turn off the lighting or make it lower. I'll play around. So let's plug it in first of all. As I mentioned, I want to charge it, put in the charging cable as I go. I can tell which way is up. Let me look at this. Okay, that way. It's like the rule of all USB cables, right? That you can't plug it in right the first time. Finally, okay. Thanks for bearing with me. Turn it on, that would help. Let's see which angle is better, which camera is better. Okay, we have the New Wave Toys logo, Replicade, Amusements, and Capcom. Still playing with the angle here. Sue says rotate it, turn it 720 degrees. I'll do that too. All right, so we can go really close. I might want to change the camera at this point. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to screw it up for you guys if I turn it. Let's try it. Ooh. Okay, it's going to take some adjustments. Let me know if you like it the other way or this way. once I actually get this to not look terrible. Okay. I can angle it down a bit. I think this is going to be pretty good. What about the other camera? Oh yeah, I like that. This is sweet. Just can't zoom out anymore. That's the only problem. Okay. It's kind of like you're sitting over my shoulder and watching me about to play. It was better the way it was? Okay. So let's switch it back. Switching it back. Switching it back. Okay. And Janice says insert a coin now. Okay, okay, Janice, I'll insert a coin. What was the button? Press up to add credits. Let's put on some sound. Right now the sound's all the way off. And I'll put it somewhere in the middle. Ryan said this is like B-17 bomber. Okay. Credit button. Okay. Try to get down a little bit. Let's go. Got fire and loop. Yeah, I think the first time I played 1942 was in a relatively recent Monday mainstream. Even though I played a lot of 1943 on NES, I already died. Adjusting volume some more. Alright. So if you get all these red guys, they give you a power up. There we go. Let's try the loop. Ready? Loop. The loop is just an evasive maneuver. Or you can loop yourself into death like that. Chances the last time I played a real thing was in a Flushing laundromat of 1942. Did you used to live in Flushing? The only thing I have to say is you can't hold down the fire button, and repeatedly and quickly pressing a tiny button isn't super comfortable. I thought you could shoot those power-ups to make them transform into different types, but maybe that's 1943. Okay, so I died. Game over. Vulgus Sansen Higamaru. Oh, I wasn't fast enough. Let's see if it looks better with no light, or lesser light, that is. Yeah. And Ryan says, oh, let's go back a little bit. Stu said I lived in Brooklyn. I had a cousin in Flushing, and we called it flushing the toilet. I used to make jokes like that too. I wasn't a city guy, but I was familiar with Flushing and the name, and I was like, yeah, that's like flushing a toilet. You know, when you're like 7, you have to make that joke pretty much. And Janet said that was my feeling when I first came to America and lived in Flushing. What was people thinking when the city was named? Yeah, because you learned you know, you didn't have it all the way. You didn't have that name. You weren't exposed to that name from the beginning. You're probably learning English in school, and they say now flushing is the word they use after you go to the toilet. And then you come to the U.S. and they say, "All right, welcome to Flushing. All right, let's try this again." Actually, I want to try going to the menu. Let's try that. See what our options are. Cool. So we have game selection, which is cool because it has more than one game. We have 1942 and 1943. Difficulty, I might need easy for now, but there's easy, normal, difficult, and very difficult. I'll keep it at normal. I'll be a man. You can turn off the marquee if you don't want that lit up. Backlight, you can make the screen brighter. Oops. Or dimmer. Horror games. I gotta do some horror games for sure. Player 1 / player 2 switch. I don't know what that means. And I can't toggle it apparently. It says press any action button, but they don't do anything. Maybe, oh, that might be if you have the extra joystick plugged in, it might toggle between which one you're using or something like that. Replicade scan line, so you can do the whole thing that people like, retro geeks like a lot, which is a scan line. I don't think I'll see that until I start the game though. So that's to simulate a CRT looking kind of a thing. Because CRTs had those funky scan lines. And this is not an actual CRT, obviously. Starting live, you can have 3, 5, or 2, or 1. I'll stick with 3. Bonus life. And by the way, when I... Oops. Okay, so this plopped down off that foam, which was kind of a pain. I think I'm going to leave it because the game looks viewable, even when I don't have it at the forward angle. And it's kind of hard for me to keep it propped up on this foam. So I'm just going to leave it like this. It's viewable enough, I think. And anyway, these settings, by the way, look very similar. At least some of these, like starting lives and bonus life, very similar to a lot of the config screens I see in when I play games on my Retro Pi, using MAME and such. They often have something like bonus life, and there are 3 different scores at which you achieve the bonus life. Anyway, that's it for this menu. And Ryan said maybe that's why this game was so hard. The Japanese put the player as the bad guy. Funny thing is, when I played this on Monday MAME, I didn't think it was hard at all. I think it's just these tiny controls make it a little bit difficult. Anyway, let's give it another go. If I can figure out how to get out of the menu. Okay, the button to get into the menu did work. I was pressing the wrong direction at first. All right, let's give it another try. Then we can try 1943 a little bit and maybe try the external controller. Beep. And it's a funny comment though, Ryan. It's like a Japanese guy wanted the Americans to lose, so he made it hard. And these planes are actually modeled off of real World War II fighters. The one that you play, it's what do they call it, B-38 or something like that. Lightning. I don't know the names of all these planes, but the Japanese ones are realistic too. I mean, when I say realistic, I mean they're modeled off the real ones. What is the whistling about? Is that just the regular background music? Or is it every time a new plane comes onto the screen? I gotta say, this is this is a little tough for me to hit repeatedly. I wish there was an auto fire button in the menu. But I do have some pain issues in my fingers, so it might not be a problem for everybody. Oof. Yeah, I got cornered there. And maybe the external controller is a little more comfortable. Did I notice if there was an HDMI output for this game? I don't remember if I did. I don't think I saw that. But I know with some of these you can some of these Replicade cabinets you can connect to your TV or monitor via HDMI. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I should be using a loop thing more if I'm about to get hit. Shooting down. Oh, I thought I was about to fight a boss. But that's actually my own aircraft carrier, apparently. Jazz asked, know anyone beat the game with one coin? Oh, looking away too much. No, Jazz, I don't really know anyone who played this game a ton. Like, I don't know anybody who talked about playing this much or was, like, oh, I really love playing that game. So I don't know anybody who, I don't think I know anybody who even claims to have beaten this game or gotten an extremely good high score. But yeah, I played the heck out of 1943 for NES for sure. And that was like, I remember it being like tough, but satisfying when you finally beat it. One thing that's a little tricky about this game is you run out of room at the bottom. Like maybe you can see where I am now. That's where you run out of. You can't go down anymore. And so I keep finding myself wanting to retreat downward, and then I get stuck there. You just have to get used to that, I suppose. I wonder how long. This has probably already been done. So people like just put Raspberry Pis in these things, and then you can play every game on it. And Ryan says, wait, let's go back a little bit. Stu says, I'm going to make a company called Okay, he's making perv comments again. Put in my initial. Cool. But what did Ryan say there? Was actually a cool Atari 2600 joystick that hooked up to your TV and had preloaded games. Yeah, I heard of that. It's relatively recent, right? I'm just realizing the volume. By looking at the volume in OBS here, I don't think you're really hearing the game very much, unfortunately. Maybe you're hearing some of it. All right. Ryan says 1942 definitely a classic. All my friends had this on NES. Cool. And Stu said they have a shrink wrap copy of 1942 for Commodore 64 over here next to me. Oh wow. I didn't realize it was for Commodore. I guess pretty much everything of that era was for Commodore. All right, here's what we're gonna do, guys. Well, you guys decide. I can plug in the fancy controller and try it with that, or we can jump right into playing 1943 on this. So while you're deciding, I'm gonna get a USB cable ready and plug it in either case. Thinking this external controller might be nicer to play on. But yeah, the dragon. Going back to that Dragon Player one, that's what kind of really got my attention. It caught my attention, and then I was like, well, I missed that one, but I'm gonna buy Asteroids, and I was so into the Asteroids machine. I'm still into it, and this is good. It's just like I mentioned, I'm pressing that button a zillion times, and it's a little bit tough. But let's plug in the controller. We got the USB in the Mac. Yeah, there is no, it looks like there's no HDMI here. So you can't output this to your TV, I don't think. Okay. Your name in this game is Super Ace, says Stu, just like in Commando it's Super Joe. Okay. Alright. Should I try propping it up again? Maybe with something smaller. I need like a roll of lifesavers to prop under. Okay, I propped it a little bit. But I'm going to play using this guy, which I can't really show in the camera without screwing up your view of the game, unfortunately. But yeah, I guess I have to go back into the menu to switch to that, I think. I think it's this button. Yeah, so this time it toggled. Last time I tried that, it didn't toggle when I didn't have the external controller plugged in. Okay, let's try it. Gonna pop in a quarter. Yes, this is cool. A fantasy adventure, or you become a valiant knight. Dragon Lair is awesome. Oh yeah, this is much more comfortable. I can use my thumb for one thing, and I like the clicky factor. I'm gonna try to hold the. Oops. I'm gonna try to hold the controller a little bit close to my microphone as I adjust the camera messily. Oh man, I suck. Do over. So satisfying to get a power up in a game like this. And a shmup. Ah man, that was a terrible run. All right, that doesn't count because I was distracted by a lot of things. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm all the way down to level 12, number 12 on the list. Dirk the Daring. We got a whole recitation of the intro to Dragon's Lair in the chat. Pop in core. Let's try again. Oh, peace. I feel like I'm worse with this controller, even though I'm more comfortable. Here, red boy. Oh man. Yes, too. I don't think there's a way to output because there's no HDMI that I see. It might be the. I thought I heard that like one of these has it. It might be the 1943 only has HDMI, which I don't have yet. Uh, Wait, it says it has plug-and-play HD TV connectivity. Let me check this manual again. I was just glancing at the box. Hmm. HDMI port is number 14. Did it have HDMI? Oh, that little. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Turn on the light for a second. It's covered. That's why I didn't notice it. Covered by a label. How would they do that? It says change TV display setting to fit. See manual for more info. Yeah, so I didn't notice it at first because I didn't bother to read this label, and I just didn't see the port. So I was like, oh, they must have not given me that. But it's there. They just covered it with a label. All right, let's try again with the external joystick. After this game, I'll try 1943. Why did it say last 32 stages? Like, it's just reminding you that there's 32 stages every time you die. Like, you suck so bad you die on the first one. You got 31 more to go after this, you know. I try to use this looping more. I'll get into the habit if I just keep doing it. Anytime things look a little bit dangerous, a loop. So there is a small black dot on my screen, kind of towards the bottom in the center. I wonder if that's just crap on the screen or if it's a dead pixel. I'm going to check that out in a minute. And I think I have a limit to the loops I am learning because I can't do it anymore. So you have something like, what are you, 5 loops? 4? I guess it would be cheesy if you did it too much. I want to be cheesy in 1942. You have to play nice to the enemy pilots who are trying to kill you. Alright. Looping Louie. Do you know that game, Ryan? Alright. 30. Yeah, so I was saying I have 31 stages left, I guess. I had 32 left before. Whoa. Wonder if I have more loops. Is that actually displayed anywhere? There's something at the bottom. That might be your loops. What are the R's? Maybe that's a roop. Yeah, the R is a roop. I think I got a 1-up. I stopped sucking for a little bit. Oh. And Ryan said, though, checking out Night of the Living Dead on Amazon is expensive. I guess he meant that board game, right? The Zombicide board game. Yeah, the board games are so expensive these days, especially the ones that come with a lot of miniatures. There's like a huge glut of them, and many of them are like just overproduced. But being a Night of the Living Dead geek and a board game geek, I just had to. Actually, I just added that to my Amazon wish list. And my father-in-law was super nice and bought it for me for Christmas last year. But I haven't had too many board game sessions with my friends ever since COVID started. Oh, shoot. Okay, that's it for me in 1942. Shooting down 221, percentage 79. So I guess the percentage is how many you killed and how many got away, essentially. Why is it moving down here? Hey, try to pick M. No, not you. W. Good to know this controller sticks just like others do in emulation. Okay, I'm going to be WMP. I kind of swapped my initials around. There we go. All right, guys, it's time for 1943. So ultimately, I'm going to have, once the 1943 cabinet arrives, I'm going to have a 42 and a 43 cabinet, and each of them can play either game, for what that's worth. Game selection is right here. Let's choose 1943. I think it was going to tell me since I was playing, if I was playing this in Japan, it's a crime. I wish I could have read that. I wonder if this game is not legal in Japan due to the subject matter. Can anyone rewind the stream and to just look at that one screen real quick? It was only on screen for about 2 seconds, if even that. All right, so here we are. Yeah, this is 2-player. That's cool. And you can tell it's an improvement in the graphics. Like, you can see the multiple levels of scrolling. Oh yeah, that's right. You have a lightning blast kind of effect in this game. You zap everything on the screen, which is totally realistic with how World War II fighters works, right? Okay, let's play some 43. Gotta pop in the chorus. Oops, wrong button. Here we go. This is from 1987 by Capcom also. That's true, Ryan. Ryan said if they're willing to sell it and make money, they should have the game in their country. You know, I don't think I've ever played this version, but the music is the same as the NES one. The same tune. It doesn't sound precisely the same. It feels like I have a ton more firepower. Like, I'm not just a rinky-dink shmup playing. I am a god here, it seems like. It feels like. I'm gonna die a lot, though, don't worry. I'm not that much of a god. Yeah, so you can shoot. Oh, you have to really choose what you want to upgrade here. I don't remember what's good or. I kind of like the 3-shot I had before. This is kind of weak. So you have to be aware of which one you're upgrading to. If you just hit it randomly, you wind up with crap like this. I think if you get the same type repeatedly, you upgrade it. So maybe I want to get this one again, but just upgrade the croissant-looking thing. I used to call it the croissant when I played this on NES. I missed that one. My wife gets upset if I say croissant like that. You have to say croissant. You don't hear any music or sound from the. Yeah, I mean, I can make it louder, but I can't go too loud because it'll wake my daughter. I'll try to make it a little bit more louder. Hopefully it's not too loud. But hopefully you can hear it a little bit. I can also just lean my head in. I have a headset on. Yeah, this one's better than 3-way. I should just stick with this. Oh, what am I in danger of running out of? Is it a fuel or something? I literally don't know what I'm supposed to be. Oh, that's just an alert for the boss. Okay. Yeah, there is music. Huh. I should be using a different mic, perhaps. Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to think of what I can do. If I can pull off anything on the fly here. I do have a stand-up mic, which I could put right next to the machine, and then I could have OBS reading from both my headset and that. So let me see if I can do that in like less than a minute. And if not, I'll just do it as it, continue as is, you know? So bear with me 1 minute. Okay, I plugged it in a, should be a good location. I just have to set it up in OBS real quick. Audio input capture. This is my Honor microphone. Okay, so I don't know how the volume's going to be, but I can adjust that on the fly. And I'll probably have to put on some noise cancellation or you might hear an echo. So another thing to bear with me about. So you said that was for your power up that was running out. Okay, so yeah, it really made me feel like I was about to explode or something. Noise suppression. There we go. Okay. Let's see how this goes now. Pop in a quarter. Seems like it's still pretty low. Let me just adjust a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna apply a gain to this real quick to make it a little louder. And I think that should be pretty good in a moment. Cool. That should be audible, I think. Alright, let's play. Did I not die while I was doing nothing? Oh, you just take damage. You don't die right away. That's right. You don't die right away when you get hit. This dude says he can finally sort of hear the music. Yashichi! Try to turn it up a little bit more. Am I dead? So, this is something I'll have to ask the Replicade people at New Wave Toys, because I keep finding it. I don't know if it's the external controller or not, but I keep being pulled downward. Like when I was entering the high score, it was doing that, and now every time I let go of the stick, it pulls me downward. So that's a problem. I'm a little disappointed. I'm silently grumbling to myself, like, ah. I would expect that to happen in my own crappy emulation setup, but they should get it right. I guess those R's in the center are also my power-ups, like in the first game. But I keep getting pulled downward now, it's really annoying, to be quite honest. Come on. I'm assuming it's the external stick because the other one is completely disabled, so... I mean, it could be a software issue, though, I don't know. What is too many games, Stu? Is that like a con or something? Stu asked me, Mark, are you going to too many games? Too many games. I think it's just occurring to me that I only have one life per continue. Right. Initial attack unsuccessful, mission aborted. Oh, I suck it. That's what it's telling me. Too many cooks, too many cooks. Convention this weekend, huh? Like an in-person convention? Offensive target, Kaga. Outside of Philly, huh? No, I had no idea that thing existed, so I had no plans to go. What time are we at anyway? About 10:30? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna actually It's really annoying me that I keep getting pulled downward. I'm going to try playing this game, 1943, with the regular controller, the console itself. And even though I find the fire button difficult if I press it a zillion times, I'd rather not be pulled downward. If that's even the reason for why I'm being pulled downward. Yeah, now I'm not being pulled downward, so I guess it must be an issue with the external controller. You're just going to keep naming convention? Are you going to be a BCF East? What is too many games? Is it like a video game convention? Like as opposed to a board game or a role-playing game or something. Visual contact with surface forces confirmed. Commencing attack. Yeah, like 1943 is a whole other step forward. 42 is pretty cool, but it just feels so much bigger. Alright. The tidal wave when I press the special power button. I'm dead. BCF East, Stu says, is more for classic computers and computer games. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to try, before giving up for the evening, I'm going to try just adjusting my camera and making it point downward. That might be fun. It's one of the things I was suggesting earlier. Like, I could either try to prop up the back or change the camera angle. I'm going to play with the camera angle for a bit, if you don't mind. It's going to be ugly for a bit, but that's okay. I'm always ugly for a bit, right? So I can make it, my tripod, it's a very adjustable tripod. I can make it nice and high and then have it kind of looking downward. Something like that. Just got to get stable though, so it's not always bouncing around. Adams will be at VCF, really? That's cool. No, I had no plans to go to any of these. I didn't know they existed. I'm not a huge con goer, although I have been to a few cons. Yeah, this looks pretty nice, I think. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to ask about that. It's possible the controller is defective or they need to have a software patch as far as it pulling me down all the time, because that's just a pain. Now I'm going to play with this angle just because it's a little different, so you can see the whole, like the screen looks like it's, you know, perpendicular to the point of view, you know, it's not like at an angle, and you can see the console and the marquee. I think that might be a pretty fun view to try. Offensive target. Why is it so offensive? I think this might be my favorite of all of them. All the power-ups. Let's get that again. When you get it again, is it making it stronger? I thought it was, but it looks exactly the same to me. Unless it just does more damage or something. Stu, since you go to these cons apparently, have you ever gone to the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo? That was probably the last con I went to in 2019. And I had a lot of fun there. That's where I discovered Vectrex. I fell in love with love at first sight. Brian thinks everything outside of New Mexico is the big city. He'd be like, he'd be like, I went to the, suburban Wichita. And he'd be like, I don't like those big cities. I don't know about suburban Wichita. I heard there's a lot of liberals there. I'm just kidding, right? What did I get there? A garbage can? No! I'm dead. Alright, I think I'm done with 1942 and 1943 for the day. But as long as I have it, I got it right next to me. Why don't I play a little Asteroids on my Asteroids Replicade? So let's move this out of the way. I should probably just unplug it. That was fun to check out for sure. And I'll see more of that game later. I'll be playing when I'm supposed to be working. Unfortunately, my boss subscribes to this channel, so hopefully he didn't hear that. I'm only kidding loose. Alright, so here is... Now, of course, I have the angle messed up, but that's alright. We can fix that quick. So here is Asteroids. Now, it's interesting. It looks like the lighting is all wacky with Asteroids. I have to adjust it a little bit. So that's the last time you ever play that. Okay. Well, I mean, with the external controller, I would like that to be fixed. Otherwise, I probably won't play it again. So I'm going to find out what I can do about that. Anyway, Asteroids. Yeah, I did like an unboxing and playthrough of this when I got this one in like last January. But I found it was hard to see the screen. Like I guess because it's monochrome. So I'm going to play with things like focus and lighting and see if I can get it better. I think dark works better. You can somehow see the reflection of me more, it feels like, in the screen. And Ryan says, I think Asteroids is my very first gaming memory. That's cool, Ryan. I don't think it's definitely early in mine. Probably the Atari version, either Atari 2600 or Atari 8-bit maybe. The Atari 8-bit version of this game is so cool, by the way, because it has 4-player modes and different modes. It's kind of like deathmatch modes and all this crazy stuff. It's so cool. All right, let's try a little Asteroid. So I think I've just pressed the menu button. Oh, what I do, I pressed the freeze button. Okay, starting line is 4. You can turn on their track mode, etc. Not too many options in Asteroid. Obviously, I gotta get used to the button. Give me a second. Obviously, it's not a vector display like the original Asteroid, so that's one major difference. But you can tell they changed it a little bit as well. Like the shots you shoot are a lot larger, and also that the UFOs shoot. So it's actually not a perfect translation. And I would assume they ran into some problems. Maybe like with the original ROM or whatever. Maybe the dot was just too small to see on a little screen. I don't know. I'm only speculating. No. Okay. Apparently you can kind of be cheesy at this game by you just leave one little asteroid left. And you get a lot of these small UFOs, which are tough but give you a lot of points. If you're good at beating them, which I'm apparently not, you could rack up a lot of points that way. Sorry, I gotta make this a little lower. I have to really like walk that line of letting the game be audible for you guys versus waking my daughter. And if I wake the daughter, it's all over for you guys as well. With the hyperspace button, cool, I found it. Oh. Yeah, I think vector graphics aside, I think the Atari 8-bit Asteroids is my favorite. It's just so cool. You can play with different modes, like you can replace hyperspace with a shield, so you can just cover yourself with a shield for a moment. You can play four players, which is a blast. You can play like cooperative or deathmatch style. Oh, pressing the wrong button. Trying to hyperspace. Not my best score, I'm sure. L? No, not L. Hey, what's the button that's supposed to press? This one? There we go. That was which one did I just get? My 553.30, so that was my 10th best score. So obviously not great. Let's show it in this kind of a view. What was your first the first platform you played Asteroids on, Ryan? Steve says, I think the Atari 7800 version also allows multiple players. Cool. Yeah, I think it's just, I try to zoom out like this to give it a better view, but I don't know. I think the screen is just too hard to see. Yeah, you can't really see what's going on in the game. So I'll just zoom right back in. For some reason, pretty much any kind of game, it doesn't even have to be a great game. As soon as it introduces like something like four-player simultaneous play, I'm like, yes, this is the game for me. I'm just so in there. Okay. Has anyone ever pointed out that this, I'm sure someone has, that this asteroid kind of droning music, if it can be called music, it resembles Jaws a bit. Ooh. Okay. I wonder if they were inspired by Jaws. Obviously, it's not like a note per note reproduction. I exploded due to over hyperspacing. Oof. No. That's it. And Stu says, in theory, the Atari 8-bit version could be similar to the Atari 5200 version. Yeah, actually, I don't have any reference points for the 7800 and 5200 because I never played those systems at all. But yeah, in my household, we did a ton of Atari 8-bitting and also 2600. We actually, my dad got multiple on those computers. He had the 400, the 800, and the 800 XL. And I think he actually won. I have to ask him about this. He won the 800 in some kind of a some kind of a raffle or something. That's kind of funny. I guess it runs in the family, winning video game stuff. Well, technically it was a computer, not only for video games. All right, folks. I guess I'll wrap that up unless anybody has any requests. I could arm wrestle Rob Bob. I'll go get him. Um, I can show you a little bit around this machine. Why not? Before we wrap it up, turn on some lights. So down here you have this lovely lit up 25-cent sign. I'm going to turn off this volume. And you press this side button here to go to the menu, which, as I showed you, has just a few options. This is to insert a quarter. You press this here. This is the coin door that doesn't actually open. Side view. It's the real art from the game. Stu said that when I won an Xbox 360 when it launched. For real? Wow. And then I traded it for a Dreamcast. What? Are you serious? I never know if Stu's pulling my leg. Because Xbox 360 was what year? Like 2008 or something? And Dreamcast was like a decade before. So So here we have more of the back speaker, obviously, volume and power. This is a limited edition. This is number, is it telling me it's number 216 out of 3,500? I'm not sure. For that matter, let's take a look at 1942. It has no such like serial number in the back, or is this it? It does. This is actually a later number out of the 5,000. It's 4619 out of 5,000. So I apparently got a later 1942, but an earlier Asteroids. And it tells you it's suitable for indoor use only, so I guess you don't want to play it outside in the rain or in the snow. Probably not a good idea. 1979, it's hard. Sometimes I forget that Asteroids is a 70s game. Technically a 70s game, and so is Space Invaders. But that's about it. This doesn't have anything fancy as far as HDMI. It just has the one charge port. And it doesn't have any USB for controllers to plug in. That's about that. Alright, so Stu's elaborating on his story. Let's hear it. He says, well, not really. I lent it to someone, and he lent me his Dreamcast. And then I played I don't know how you say that, Shenmue, and returned the Dreamcast. But the a-hole kept the 360 for 10 years until it broke and never gave it back. Oh, well, that sounds like a, yeah, not nice guy. I don't know what to say to that. Alright, so my collection here is slightly growing. I actually have 1943 coming at some point, and I actually also ordered Q*bert. And I kind of like the idea of playing Q*bert on something resembling the original controls, because I always found it awkward in home versions. You had to like move this. Sometimes you had to like hold the joystick in like at an angle, like at a 45-degree angle, just to get it to work right. Essentially, I guess I will wrap it up there though. So thanks for watching, Stu, Ryan, and Janice, and whoever else might be watching but not chatting. I will probably see you regulars on Saturday Night Gaming. I am going to try to complete the game that I've been playing, which is Pixel Dungeon. I have probably 2 hours or maybe even less of that game left, and I might die though beforehand. We'll see. But yeah, hey, good night to you too, Janice. And yeah, good night everybody. See you next time. Take care.